Oh, hey there, neighbor. I see you decided to stop by in spite of my threat to put you to work last week. If you weren't here last week, my name's Jared. My wife and I are a couple weeks into our new lives together on our Alaska homestead. Things have been going pretty good. Last week, I got all the siding cut I needed for my shop, and I figured out I should never let work get in the way of fishing. Last week I figured I was going to have you pick up a hammer and help me out, but things have been going so well, I think my wife and I got it for now. But you're welcome to stick around for a while and chat if you'd like. I've got my dad and some friends coming in at the end of this week. I was afraid I wasn't going to get the shop dried in before they got here, but we're a little bit ahead of schedule. All I got to do is finish off the front of the shop and put some windows in on the east side. Don't figure that'll take me more than a day or two. It's kind of nice that my planning and hard work have put me ahead of schedule. It's a great place to be. Okay, so you know how confident I was that I got all the lumber cut I needed for my siding? Well, turns out I'm going to need another log or two. That should just take me half a day or so, and we'll be back in business. We still got plenty of time. I've gotten way better at using my sawmill, and I really haven't run into any problems with it since I got back on the homestead. Now chainsaws, they're still giving me a little bit of grief, but I've gotten a little better at those too. Mostly. The bane of my existence is hitting metal with my saw, because that destroys teeth. This is the permit for my lumber, and came with 2 regular screws, which had no problem removing, and then 2 Torx bits. Went to go get a Torx bit, and of course it's the wrong size. So now, another trip back up to the cabin. Yay. Alright, back at it. Finally found the right tool for the job, I hope. Hopefully they're not broke off in there or something. Dang, they put long enough ones in there. Alright. Pretty dang level. So I thought I had it far enough over, but as you can tell from that cut, like that's just not going to work. So I'm going to have to figure out how to move the butt end of this over farther, because that's not going to give me any lumber at all. Okay, I think that's going to be closer. Yep. So, saw was struggling, cutting an 8-incher. You can see where it starts to climb right there. 20 out of that. Not too shabby. Got 1 or 2 more passes left to see what we can get.
So the thing you gotta know about my dad and my friends is they're more than happy to come up and help. And they're pretty darn good help too. But one of the things they expect was a couple days of fishing and a whole bunch of crab. The first week they came up, I think we survived on nothing but crab. If I don't provide a good amount of crab, there will be mutiny. I've been pretty busy, so I haven't set out the traps yet, but there's always plenty of crab, and they're good size too. So providing enough crab for the crew shouldn't be too hard. But in order to do that, I gotta get some bait. I heard the pinks are in, and so that's just the ticket. Since there's always time to fish, I'm gonna knock off after 12 hours or so and go hit the stream for a little while.
I'd heard the pinks had just started coming in. Looks like that is accurate. Not a ton of them yet, but looks like some people have had some success. Been working on the shop from about 7:30 to 7:30. Grabbed a little dinner. Go see if I can catch a few fish before it gets too dark. Nothing like walking through the woods in the dark with hopefully a couple fish and bears around, but we'll give her a shot.
If you've ever been to Alaska, people don't have much good to say about pinks. However, if you're looking for bait, there's plenty of them and they're easy to catch. That's a perfect combination.
Bush is a little wet. Eagles think they're here. Not the only one that hangs out here, that's for sure. Not liking that. Nailed it. Nailed it. That was good. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that. Yeah. I don't have to worry about a little rain now. I hooked one. Nice and bright. I don't know how I'm going to get down to where he's at. Obviously this rock's pretty slick, as we learned already. But see if he's still on there. I'll take him. Another one. Ah, come off. There he is. on a nice bright pink. Struggling for sure. So we're gonna take and cut it the other direction, see if it likes that any better. Not sure. I've been waiting for a log like this for the last few days. I'm actually super surprised that it was, I think this is the 5th or 6th log before I came across one that had this many issues. He got it done, but it wasn't pretty. There's the stack that I got out of it. Got a few boards for salmon planks, a little bit of waste, a lot of sawdust. Got a few 2x2s and 2x4s that I'll use for other projects. But I think this is all my fault. I didn't line it up center to center, I just lined it up outside. And I think that just put the grain so crosswise that it didn't want to cut either way. It's having problems with it climbing here at the end. And I was also having problems at that end with it, like tracking really bad. Probably need to sharpen the blade again too. So, but didn't quite get all the boards I needed. I wanted 11 1x8s. I got 6, I think. I may have to cut a couple more, but I think we'll make it happen with what I've got.
So one of the best things about last week being over with is I don't have to work on the second level of scaffolding anymore. It shouldn't make me nervous. It really isn't that tall, but turns out it does. Thankfully, since I have the skid steer, I shouldn't have to be more than about 8-9 feet off the ground. That's perfect. So this is the part where all that time I spent honing my wife's scrapbooking skills came in handy. She made a perfect cut.
Geometry was not my thing. My wife did a little better, so hopefully this is somewhere close to fitting that up there. No guarantees.
So my wife suggested it would let a lot more light in if we put some greenhouse glass up along the peak of the roof. That sounded like a great idea, and it was going to save us a lot of time not having to cut boards at an angle. One piece and done. Doesn't get much better than that. Alright, time to regroup. We're going to have to find a different way to get that greenhouse plastic up where it goes. This certainly isn't working. While I'm figuring it out, I may as well get the crab pot set. If there's anyone that likes crab more than my friends, it's my wife, and that should earn me a few points. Especially after that comment about the cost of her scrapbooking.
Let's go see what we can find. Pot number 1 over the side. Always make sure you got a hold of the buoy. None too much. Definitely don't want to check it right at high tide or I might not find it. Two over the side. Let's see what happens. Tie a good knot, tie a lot of knots apparently. So, this is the plan for getting that last bit of glass in place. I think it's going to work. We'll see here in a
So I didn't have the camera rolling when we put the greenhouse plastic into place, but it went up nice and smooth. Apparently all that money I spent on my wife's scrapbooking skills worked out. Don't tell her I said so, though.
Here's the closer how we did it. Measured everything, got it pretty close. Then right there, we just had to cut a lead cut. Then cut about an inch off. Then up at the top, there was a little, about a 1-inch slot that the plastic slid into. Then once we got it up there, then we just screwed on here at the side. One in the center to hold it, and one on the other side, and then got everything put into place, screwed it all on.
With the greenhouse glass in place, the shop's pretty well dried in. I'm not really ahead of schedule now. In fact, I might be a little bit behind. I got a couple other things I want to get done. But I should be able to go check those crab pots, come home with a bucket of crab, and be the hero. That'll work for today.
Okay, so got a couple anyways. Easy peasy. I think you're gonna make it too. Not quite. Not quite that one either. Come on, there you go. You're going back. But I need my gauge. No, not quite. Guy doesn't make it either. Not as big as I was thinking. A little earlier in the season, I guess. Female. This guy might. That guy makes it.
So if you made it this far in the video, you probably noticed what I didn't. I've definitely been getting a little full of myself. Apparently that don't fly here in Alaska. She actually let me off pretty easy this time though. I could have taken that fall off the scaffolding, or worse yet, I could have come home to my wife with no crabs. I don't even want to think about that. Well, at least there's always tomorrow.
Would you like one? Hard to believe.
1.5 crabs.
Man, we ate so much.
I'm sorry.
Well, I definitely wouldn't like or subscribe to a guy that's full of himself. But if you give me another chance and come back next week, we're going to start trying to make the shop livable. See if I can catch some shrimp. And to put my friends and family to work. I haven't yet told them there's not many crab. We'll see how that goes.